awesome. All right. We are all jumping on. Hey. Wow, what a day. It's been crazy. It's been great. It's been awesome watching the things that you're doing. Let me bounce off of this, stop sharing so I can just have a conversation with y'all right now. We pushed the boundaries on the tech stuff this week, and we've been okay with everything. Let me just make sure that we're using the right microphone, and let me mute me. That would be there. All right, cool. So beautiful, awesome. All right, so welcome to day number 2. No, Melissa, it was me. Actually, it was computer. It was Facebook wouldn't let me in. So I kept knocking on the door and saying, Zuckerberg, let me in. So we are in, we are ready to rock and roll. We are ready to go and get this thing rolling. So how was your day? Oh man, I saw all of the posts. Listen, just so you know, I am in there. I am going through them. I'm trying to get to all of them. There are so many of the posts. I love what you're doing. Here's the cool thing. First things first, I want to celebrate you. I want to congratulate you for doing the work, doing the Carrie is up at 3 a.m. again. So doing the work that you need to do to make a difference in the world, to get your message out in the world. This is the stuff that people are unwilling to do, is to go through the uncomfortableness of posting stuff and seeing how that plays out and what that might look like for them, and then exposing it to put it out to people and say, what do they say? What do they think in some of the things that they're doing, and being vulnerable enough to do that. 1, 2, being so gracious in your comments, your support. This is what an army of difference makers, DMers as I call them, is all about. It's about us working to working to really start to drive things. This is day three of our training. But the fact that you all are helping each other, that you're supporting each other in this journey, that you're doing the things that you need to do, really, really warms my heart, because this is what it's about. Us standing together, us knowing that we're making a difference, us putting ourselves out there, making the difference that we want to make with our knowledge, our wisdom, and our expertise. That's what's really, really exciting for me. So here's the thing. I want to jump into our training. We got rolling just a touch late, just because of the tech gods. So let's just jump in. Let's jump in where we're at. I want you to know that I am in the group. I'm going to be in the group for a while, answering questions, giving you guidance, giving you feedback on your value articulators and your value statements, and answering the questions for you to try and make all that happen for you. So know that I haven't forgot about it. We've been rock and rolling. And today I added something. Yeah, I know. Just like I added something yesterday, I actually have a bit of a surprise for you. Another surprise, just because I like surprises. I like doing this, and I've had it. I don't know about you all, but I'm having a great time doing this. Is, like I said, first time doing a live training series like this, and it's been a blast for me. I love speaking, I love being on stages, and I love training, and I love working with people and seeing the lights go on and know that their dreams are being lit, and that the things that they get to do are being shifted and changed to allow that to happen. So let's jump in. Let me share my screen. Let's make sure that you guys can all see it, guys and gals can all see that. You should be able to see my slides and stuff coming up right now, and be able to see that. Cool. I'm struggling with the difference between frameworks versus processes. It shows that you love it. Yeah, thank you, Ellen. I actually do. This is huge. Aaron, I will get to your question. If I don't get to it soon, just make sure that you remind me as we get towards the Q&A. Okay, Aaron? We'll make sure that we touch on that, because they are different. Frameworks and processes are not necessarily the same. Okay, so we'll make sure that we get that answer. Cool, awesome. All right, here we go. Let's just start. We'll start here. And here's the thing. I want us to we talked about in the first training, we talked about the market. We talked about where we are in the market, what the market is all about. And today, and then yesterday, we talked about drilling down on our value, what it means to go from information to transformation. We'll kind of summarize the trainings that we went through so we baseline everyone to make that come alive. So again, the idea was create like a thought leader. What do thought leaders do that are different? What are the top people in this space? The Brendan Burchards, the Amy Porterfields, the Gabby Bernsteins, the Rachel Hollises, the James Wedmores. What are they doing that's getting them out in the world, that is making a difference, that's allowing them to have the impact that they want, the income they deserve, and the freedom they truly desire? So that's one of the questions that we needed answered. Then we talked about how do you articulate your value distinctly, and today we're really focusing on delivering like a difference maker. The key is to make sure that you stand out, you have a loyal audience, and you have that income freedom that we talk about of being a portfolio entrepreneur where you've got income coming from multiple sources based upon your core message and the work you do, whether it's online courses, whether it's speaking, coaching, books, articles, blogs. You create it properly, you monetize it multiple ways. That's the beauty behind a thought leader lifestyle in doing that. We talked about this, is that the 10,000 hours, Macklemore's 10,000 hours becomes truly important, is that, greats weren't great because they were born that way. They were great because they did what they are great at a lot. And we all agreed we're going to do what we want to do a lot so we can become great at it, so we can be in that top 3%. We then talked about why we're missing the mark. I talked about the 5 levels of market sophistication, market saturation. If your message isn't landing, we got to go back to this and say, why isn't it landing? What is it about it that we need to focus in on and think about doing differently? And then look at our content and ask ourselves, am I creating content? And we'll talk about the best way to do this, creating content that satisfies all of those things so we can speak to all of these things. And so then from there, this is what we did yesterday, talking about, in this case, how do you go from information to transformation? This is something I added in, and realizing that we need to be in a place where what we're doing is moving from the bottom up. That distinction is the last thing we do. The first thing we do is essential, and we got to build our content in a way that truly makes it happen. There's a process for each and every step of this to make that happen and make it easy for you to put your content out there, easy for you to make content that's valuable, content that's transformational, content that allows you to stand out and become the top 3% of thought leaders out in that space. And so this is this is the key to doing it. Then we talked about building your own strategy canvas. Hopefully you downloaded the link to the file, the Excel template that will do this for you, so you can figure out what your points of differentiation are. We can then speak to why you're different. We can speak directly to why you're different and then articulate them into what we call the value articulator template. And all of you are putting these things in, and keep them coming. Keep them coming. I want to keep reviewing. I want all of us to keep reviewing and supporting, because as we refine it, we will see that things will shift and change. Remember, I've always said that we cannot sharpen the knife or the axe until we put it against the stone. So the key element to your content, to make sure your content really thrives and really is hitting the point, is putting it out in the world. We're going to test it. We're going to put it out in the world. We're going to see if we can make a difference. We're going to see if we get the response. So we're going to sharpen the axe against the stone by putting it out there. And all of you, oh, I love it, all the hearts. all of you are helping each other in this process. We're gonna lift each other up on each other's shoulders. We're gonna be an army to be contended with. We are gonna make a difference in the world. We're gonna make a difference in our communities and our societies by standing side by side and say, we have a better way, that there's a better way to live a better life, to build a better business, to live a more healthy life, to have better relationships, to do the things that we need to do. Jeff, we'll make sure that we get you the link on that Excel file. It should be under files, but we'll make sure we get it for you. Then what we want to now do is focus in. We're going to shift gears now that we've done that into this idea of how do you create like a thought leader so you can own your space, you're in high demand, and you're highly paid. That's what I want for you, is that when your topic comes up, when the ideas come up, that you come to the top. That's the core of positioning that drives it. You become in high demand, and you become highly paid. That's really where we're really starting to shift and move. So I ended yesterday in our last training with this, saying there's a difference between creators and brands or businesses. And I'm going to invite you to actually, I'm not going to invite you, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to direct you. I'm going to tell you you need to think like a business. Here's the thing. If we don't think like a business, then what happens is that we make some choices that may not allow us to perpetuate our message, to extend our reach, to build the audience, to move and serve the public and the people we want to serve at the level we want to serve them. And that is, to me, a travesty to what your calling is and to your message. And so that's the key. That's the key in really doing this. So let's just talk about this idea between a creator, because I've been in audiences where, in fact, I was speaking at an author conference, and there may be a whole bunch of authors. I love that, Sarah. DMers for life. We are all united now. We have been in this game now for a while. We are united as DMers. So here's the thing. I was speaking at an author conference, and I actually tried to have a conversation with a bunch of authors saying, you need to think like entrepreneurs. You need to think like business people, because the money's not necessarily made with the book. We may have an impact, but we need to survive. We need to be able to put the book out there. We need to be able to do the things that we want to do to get the message out there. And yet they just sat there and said, but I'm a creator. I'm a creator. So I think there's a difference between being a creator and being a brand. Being a creator and someone that has a broad, far-reaching impact with a message. So it's great to be a creator, but now let's pair it with business thinking, with thought leader thinking, so we can perpetuate the message, we can extend the message, and we can increase our impact with what we were put here to do. So here's how I look at it: is the creators are playing a game that's what I call the short game, whereas a brand or business are playing the game that I call the long game. I know, because I asked the question earlier, that you're in it for the long game. If you're in it for the long game, do me a favor, type a 1 in the chat box in the comments below. Let's make it happen. All right. And then we'll start into this. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. I got a new coffee mug today. It says, of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice. Another one that my wife loves. Okay. So, all right. I love it. All the ones coming in. We're playing the long game because we want this to be sustainable. When you do this right, remember I said that I have one of my expert businesses. I don't have a website. I don't have a business card. I don't do any marketing. I don't do any meetings. And it's been that way for a decade. Over a decade, I've done no marketing, nothing to do with promoting the business. It will continually do multiple 6 figures each and every year because we played the long game. That's what I want for you. So loving the hearts. Keep the hearts coming. Thumbs up, hearts, smiley faces. Love it. Keep going. All right, so let's just look at it. A creator focuses on marketing. A brand focuses on position. Marketing Marketing, in my mind, is actually, it's kind of like Target sending out the coupon mailer saying, hey, we have a sale, come on in and buy. But when we're thinking as a thought leader brand, as an authority brand, as a business, what we use marketing for is to create positioning in the marketplace. In other words, it builds our authority, it builds our credibility, it allows them to see us, it builds awareness for the things that we do, and it establishes us as an authority. It's how we start to occupy. Positioning to me is the space you occupy in your customer's mind and in their heart. I want to be top of mind. I want to be embedded in their heart. That comes from a place of service. That comes from a place of sincerity and authenticity, and allowing people in to see what you do, to give generously, to support transparently, and do those things. So yes, marketing is important, but for a thought leader brand to elevate, the marketing is important to create positioning. Your positioning will be built on the heels of your unique methodology. It'll be built on the heels of the results you get. It'll be built on the heels of your content done right, okay? The second thing is this, is that creators a lot of times are transactional. You know, they are looking to make the sale. This is why I said it's the coupon server, whereas a brand is relational. What we want to do is build loyal followers. I want a relationship with people like you. I want a relationship with like-minded people. I want a relationship with you where we can have conversations. Remember that conversions come in conversations, that we want meaningful conversations with each other. We want to be able to sit back and say, this isn't working, this is working. What do I do next? What are the things that we do? So we can actually have heartfelt, real conversations where our customers, our clients, and the people we serve feel cared for, feel loved, and feel that they mean something. Hopefully that you got that feeling as we've done this, is that truly relational. For me, like I said, I love doing what I'm doing. It to me is, it's not work. It's a joy. I'm excited before I start. I am absolutely energized after I'm through, and I probably don't need the caffeine in the process to make that happen. And there's some of you in here, I know Sarah and some of you in here that have been at my live events, you know how it is. It's about building those relationships. So when I do this, one of the things to think about is, am I focused on positioning? Use this as a checklist for you. Am I looking to build relationships? Am I just putting out things like, quote cards or images on Instagram, but I'm not using it to allow people in to see what I'm about, to build a relationship, to have a meaningful conversation. So the other thing that I think we need to realize is that creators are in the process of creating stuff. So they're creating blog posts, they're creating books and chapters and videos and all of that. What we want to do as a brand, as a business, is to create experiences. And this is really, to me, this is really important for us to understand. If there's, how many of you out here, let me ask you this. How many of you out there want to do live events, seminars and trainings and workshops? If you want to do live events, do me a favor. Just put a yes in the chat box, just so I can see that. I love doing live events. In fact, we just scheduled my next live event, Influencers Intensive, coming up. But so if you want to do live events, one of the things to think about is that it's one thing. Now, I came in the awesome. So here's the deal, and we can talk about how to do live events in another time, and the format and the syntax and how to do the content. But what we really need to do is to realize that the importance in the live event is not just the training, because we can give them training. Listen, I've been speaking for a lot of years, and I've had the opportunity to speak at a lot of like legal conferences for attorneys, and financial conferences for CPAs and financial planners and that sort. The challenge is that they just want the education. Here's a question for you. What do you think, if you think back on your education, whether it was high school, whether it was elementary school, whether it was college, whether it was advanced degrees, whether it was a seminar that you've gone to, which one do you remember the content more from? One that was truly data, and education, or one that created an emotional experience for you when you attended it, a connection with you? So here's how this plays out, because when you create experiences, the lessons don't just go in intellectually, they go in viscerally, they go in emotionally. They are much, much deeper seated and harder to forget when we create experiences. So when we do this, the key is to sit back and say, how can I create an experience for the people that I serve in doing that? So the next is that creators focus on products. I'm going to create a product and I'm going to sell it. It could be that. It could be this. It could be a workbook. It could be a book. It could be anything, but I focus on a product. Thought leaders, though, when you're a brand and you're a thought leader, what really drives you is you are a messenger, okay, with a message. You have knowledge, wisdom, expertise that came from your education, from your journey, from your successes, probably a lot from the failures that came from that you're taking to the world to say, hey, I can help get you to your destination faster because I've run the miles. I'm a Sherpa that has been up to the top of the mountain. Or I can help because I have a different perspective, or I have tools, I have templates. The key is that you become a messenger of a message and not a someone that is touting their wares, that is kind of going out and just selling products. You are a representative of your message. You become a messenger. So the idea here is that it doesn't matter to me how you deliver the message, but what matters is you actually do deliver the message. That you take the time to say, what do I stand for? How am I going to show up in this space? What is my core message that I want them to understand? And now you can go deliver it any way you want. You can do it online in social media. You can do it speaking on a stage. You can do it in a book. You can do it in video. However you want to deliver it is up to you. The core of it is that you become a messenger, and that when you step into that role, that I am not a creator of products, I am a messenger of messages. That changes things dramatically. So a brand or business in the thought leader space is a messenger. Then creators, a lot of times, and entrepreneurs will do this, they'll look for a quick fix. There's a problem here, let me give you a solution to the problem. Whereas thought leaders, difference makers, DMers, as I call them, they will create a unique methodology that they become known for. Okay, it's not about just solving the problem. It's about creating a unique methodology that solves the problem in a unique way that becomes your calling card. Now, the unique methodology, we'll talk a little bit more about that, is a combination of some your insights, your frameworks, and a proprietary process that's combined together in a way that you deliver it powerfully, influentially, and gets consistent results. That's what thought leaders do, is that we focus on what's my unique methodology that I become known for, that becomes my calling card, that becomes my DNA, my unique brilliance that no one else has. Then we move from there, and a lot of creators, I mean, these are the whole idea of starving actors, starving artists, and all of that type of stuff. We look at it and they go, they live from check to check. They got to go sell a painting. They got to go sell a script. They got to go sell a book. They got to go. So they're living from check to check. But the thought leader is focused on building a business around building richness in their life, creating experiences for themselves and the people they love, creating experiences for the people that they serve, to create peace of mind, to build something that transcends them and time. So one of the challenges, especially in this space, is that most of us over time will not build something that is a business that we can sell. And it's a whole separate conversation that we can have another time around this. But you're not building something that we can sell. Like, for instance, can I sell, Mel Abraham Inc.? And the answer is no. Well, I could, but I'm probably not going to get much for it. So the key then is this, is that if I'm not building something to sell, what's going to take care of me down the road? And I spoke about this on stage just a couple of weeks ago when I was speaking at a conference, is that when we approach our business, we need to create a machine. That machine is built on our portfolio of intellectual property, the unique methodology that we create, our ability to deliver a message and transformation to the people we serve. That machine is going to fund your life today. It's going to take care of your bills. It's going to take care of your vacations. It's going to take care of your loved ones. It's going to take care of your house. It's going to fund it today, but we need to build it in a way that it creates a second machine. That second machine is to take care of your future. See, if you don't have something to sell that you can then get this windfall of cash to take care of your retirement, your future, your everything else when you decide to stop, then we need to build something to make that happen. And that's how I talk about, when we want to build a wealth machine, a richness perspective, this is what we need to think about, is to do this that way. Now, it's a different way to build it. You got to look at it differently, and we got to plan it from the very beginning to make that happen. So that's one of the other differences between being a brand, an authority brand, or simply a creator. And then the last one is this. A lot of times, and I've been in this space for a long time. I've been in this space for a couple of decades. I've worked with some of the top thought leaders. I've been with them backstage, working with their content, helping guide them with their presentations. I've worked, virtually with them. I've consulted with them. I've seen a lot, and a lot of times they are seat of the pants managers. Now, as an accountant myself, that freaks me out when you turn around and you go, well, I don't know what my numbers are. I don't know if I'm making money. I don't know where the money's gone. I made $800,000 this year, but I got nothing to show for it. So that freaks me out as an accountant. Here's the thing: if you're truly going to build a brand, you're going to build a business, metrics matter. Now, it doesn't mean you need to be this amazing person that can read financial statements and know all the accounting and all the taxes. But it does mean this, that you need to know what I call your prime metrics, those things that make a difference, so you can check the pulse on the patient on a regular basis, so you can know that, wait a second, that ad isn't converting the way it should. That landing page isn't doing what it should. So you can turn the right dial and pull the right lever to shift things to make that happen. If this is making sense to you, do me a favor and let me know in the comments if this is really kind of hitting home. Julie is in the house. She's a fellow accountant and a data geek. Music to my ears. Heck yeah, we got to manage it. Here's the thing: if we don't manage it, if we don't measure it, we can't manage it. If we don't manage it, we can't maximize it. That's the thing. Business is easy. Oh gosh, I'm going to draw. Here we go. I'm on fire today, huh? See, Facebook shouldn't have not let me in. Now they got me all fired up and stuff. Okay. So here's the thing. Business is actually pretty easy to run. And so here's what it is. I just have to minimize the downside. Okay, minimize the downside, which is really about the risks, the uncertainty, the problems, the challenges, the exposure, the liability that might come into play. The other thing that we need to do is maximize the upside. Okay, maximize the upside. So this is really how we do business. This is what it's all about. And the fact is that this whole thing is really about the mechanics and your business model, okay, of business, okay? That's the thing. When we look at this, this is what we do, and it's how we do it. That's the easy stuff about business. People sit back and say, business is complicated. It's not. Look, reduce the risk, increase the opportunity, get rid of the things that aren't working and keep doing the things that are. It's not that hard if we get the right mechanics and we get the right model. Here's where we make our mistakes. And if you recall, how many of you recall the story I told in training 1 about Jeremy and the picture he drew of me? Just let me know in the chat box, because this is what I got wrong. As a CPA, as someone that truly understood business, I understood how to do this. I had this dialed in. The mistake I made is I didn't get, this is below the line stuff. This is the basic stuff, all right? What I didn't get right is what's above the line. And this is, if there's a thing that is a little more complicated, it's this. This is the above the line stuff. This is not about downside and upside and the numbers. This is about lifestyle, and it's about your legacy. Okay? Which, when it comes down to it, this is about your values. And meaning. Okay, so what we want to do is start to understand what our values and meaning are. If down here, this is the what and how of business, this is the why of business. If we don't get this right, if we don't get this, I wasn't even going to teach this, but I think it's really important for us to understand, because all of our choices in business, all of our choices that we make in our life, everything that we do has to be based up here. Otherwise, we make the wrong choices down here. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, if this is hitting home for you, let me know in the comments what you think. Just let me know. This is what I think we need to do. As thought leaders, we better get completely attached to our why. We need to get this part dialed in so we can make the right decisions down here. And so this is how I look at business. And I sit on a number of boards of directors, and they expect the accountant. So they bring the accountant in to sit on a board of directors as an outside director, as a consulting director. And they expect the accountant to go in there and go, let me look at your income statement. Let me look at your balance sheet. Let me look at the numbers, and let's figure this thing out. And I look at them and I said, let's talk about the culture. Let's talk about the values. Let's talk about our beliefs and what we're here to do. Yeah. So we can make the right decisions later on. So that was an aside, but I think it's really important for us to understand that metrics matter, and the metrics that we need to measure are the ones that are driven by the whys in our business, by the values, and by the meaning in business, the lifestyle and the legacy piece of business. A whole nother training that we can do on that. So that is the key, which leads me, everyone's with me on this, hopefully, yes. So preach it, brother. I'm going. I don't know what got into me this morning. So I am on fire. Here we go. So that leads me to another model. This is the core of what I do and what we do. This is the business model that we use to build our business. It's something that I think you get a chance to really start to look at. This is what I call the Legacy Maker formula. This is the model that we use to build thought leader businesses. It's how I built my businesses over the years. It's how I've done it for clients. It's the way I consult with my high-level mentoring groups and the people that I serve. It's, you know, when I'm thinking, when I'm sitting in a room, when someone's doing a presentation and I am critiquing or I'm taking the in so I can consult with them, this is where I do it from. The key here is this, is that when we talk about this, my desire for you is to be a thought leader, okay? So I want you to be a thought leader. So what does that mean? What does being a thought leader mean? To me, and hopefully to you, what that means is that you have three things. You own your space. In other words, you are the authority in your marketplace. You are the one that they go to when your topic comes up, when that problem comes up and they need it solved, when they're struggling with something, that you own your space. Second, you're in high demand. Okay, so people are chasing you down. Listen, the phone rings and they come looking for you. That's the way we want it to be. I don't want to have to keep knocking on doors and walking neighborhoods, if you will, or whether the neighborhoods are digital or they're physical. I would rather make sure that they're coming to me. So I want to be in high demand. Then, in order for me to continue to perpetuate my message, in order for me to have the lifestyle I want, to be able to do the things I want to do with the people I want to do it, the when I want to do it, how I want to do it, I want to be highly valued. So I want to be perceived as high value. I want to be perceived up here. I don't want to be the Walmart of the industry. I want to be the Nordstrom of the industry. I want to be the Ritz of the industry. I want them to look at it and go, he may be expensive, but he's good. I want you to be the premium provider in your space that stands out. So in order to do that, there's three things that you need to have in place to make that happen. And this is I'm filling out, I think it's page 5 in the action guide. So if you're trying to stay with me in the action guide, that's where we're at. So what do we need to have in place to make this happen? There's 3 pillars to the Legacy Maker formula. These are the three things you need to build on. We've talked about them, but now I'm going to bring them together in a model for you. The first is this: distinction. Okay, distinction, because if I don't have distinction, if I'm not good at building my distinction the right way, I actually have no attention from the marketplace. People don't see me. People don't see me. And so what we need to do is create our distinction. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to give you 4 things you need to do on each of these as a checklist for you to see what's in place. The second piece, the second pillar of the Legacy Maker formula is reach. This is about getting to our audience, because if we can't reach our audience, if we aren't in front of them, then guess what? We got no clients. And if we have no clients, we've got no business. All right. So one of the things we need to realize is that we need to have reach, but reach is built. So I need to build my reach. I need to build my platform. I need to build the things that we do to make that happen. Then the last piece, the last pillar of this is we need prescription. Okay, this is a strategy. What we need to do, this is how you monetize it. How are you going to get paid? Because if we don't have the right prescription in place, then guess what? We have no money. So what we're really trying to do is execute the right plan, the right strategy to monetize it. That's the legacy maker formula. How do we create distinction? How do we build reach? And how do we execute on a prescription that will allow you to monetize it? We're going to go deeper into that in just a moment. I want to make sure that y'all with me and really that we're grooving, we're moving, we're grooving, we're doing good. All right, everyone's good. This makes sense, all right? Because I got something special coming up right now. Right? Cool. All right, so let's go back to my slides for a second. Because I've got something special for you. Remember I said I had a gift for you? Here's something I decided to do. It kind of crazy, kind of nutty, but what the heck? I said, I was talking to my team and actually had dinner with the team. By the way, this here, this is me. This is my feet in Fiji, okay? I was surfing in Fiji. Well, I was paddling in Fiji. I did more paddling than I did surfing, trying to stay on the board. That board is about the size of a garage door, just so I could stay on it. But nonetheless, I was in Fiji. Sorry, I digress. But I was talking with the team last night. I said, these people are on fire. They're great. They're doing some amazing things. Julie, I will get to your question in a second. Thank you. Prescription, bottom line, is a strategy. What's the prescription, the recipe for making money? That's really what it means. Julie, if that makes sense, let me know. Thanks, Richard. So here's what I want to do. I thought, how do we keep this going? How do we make something fun out of it? So I decided to do this. I'm going to do a pop quiz, a $10,000 pop quiz giveaway. All right, here's how this is going to go. I want to give away a handful of things. I thought, well, what could I do to serve you, to support you, to help you do some of the things that you want to do? So there's a couple things that I want to do. First off, what we're going to do is we're going to create a quiz. Actually, I have the quiz created, and it's around the training that we've done in these three trainings. Short questions, really quick questions, a handful of questions, and I'm going to have you go and take the quiz, which means that you might have to go back and re-listen, go to the replays, and so you see what you missed, what you may have missed, so you can get the answers. Because here's what we do. You're going to answer the questions, and everyone that answers the questions correctly, so you got to answer correctly, which means that you got to pay attention and go through it. You may have to go through a few times. Those that answer the questions correctly, we're going to enter you into a drawing, a giveaway drawing, and there's going to be a bunch of different prizes. Let's just talk about the prizes. I feel like a game show host. Here we go. So the first thing is I'm going to give you, some people are going to win autographed copies of my #1 best-selling book, The Entrepreneur Solution. This was a #1 bestseller on Barnes & Noble, USA Today bestseller. I will sign them and send them to the winners when we do the drawing. And so we'll do the drawing. So my book is going to be one of the prizes signed by me. All right. The second prize, or some other prizes, is I'm going to buy a bunch of Amazon gift cards. Amazon's like cash now. All right. You can buy food, you can buy whatever it is. So I'm going to buy some Amazon gift cards to give some Amazon gift cards away to you all for doing that. Third, guess what? I'm going to give away an Apple Pencil. You see me drawing with my Apple Pencil and everything. So I got an Apple Pencil that I'm going to draw, and someone is going to be really lucky to get the Apple Pencil, and we'll send it out to you. But you got to answer the quiz to do that. Third is I'm going to give away 2 tickets to my next live event, the Influencers Intensive. This is a 3-day event where we go deep dive in some of the stuff that you need to become an influencer, to become a thought leader. That we have a big workbook, and we start going through it. We start creating your frameworks and doing the things that we need to do as much as we can in that environment in 3 days. So I'm going to give away some lucky people. Some of you are going to be lucky to get tickets to join me live in Southern California to make that happen. And then the big one is this. I'm going to give away one. Okay, so there's going to be two different versions of this. So here's the deal. I have a number of programs. I got Thoughtpreneur Academy, which is my flagship signature process for creating thought leadership, worthy content and positioning as a thought leader and all that. I have the platform progression. I have high-level mentoring programs like Titans Think Tank that are, $18,000, $20,000, $25,000. I do every once in a while, I'll do some one-on-one laser coaching. So here's what I'm going to do is that for a lucky winner, one of you that has done this, you get a chance. We're going to do a drawing. We're going to do a drawing for you and I to do a one-on-one laser coaching session that we're going to dig down into your content. We're going to dig down into your frameworks, your process. We'll spend a little bit of time on virtually to make that happen. And I'm going to give you one of these. This is something that my clients, depending on the level, they'll pay me between $5,000 and $10,000 to do that with them. And then the big grand prize, the laser coaching session that I just talked about. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away the 1-year laser coaching sessions with me. I don't even sell it this way. So I'm just creating this for you all to make this happen. So here's what's going to happen is we'll do an initial laser coaching session for that one winner. We'll do an initial laser coaching session, and then we will do 3 90-day follow-up coaching sessions to see where you're at, to move you to the next step. So you get me in your life for a year. So that's what we're going to do. So here's the deal. It's a quiz giveaway. You got to be able to answer the questions correctly. What are the terms? What's the thing? And all that stuff. So let me put this on here. So you need to go back to the replays. The replays are going to be there. So I'm going to tell you the way to do this. You're going to have to go back to the replays. In fact, I'm probably going to hold a watch party too to help you out. Answer the questions. It probably will take you 10 minutes if you've gone through the replays and all that. Look, why am I doing this? One, because I love you folks and the things that you're doing. 2, I want to make sure you get the content. I'm going through a ton of stuff fast, and I want you to go and make a difference in the world. So I want to make sure that you do it. So I am going to incentivize you to do that. So answer the questions. Submit by Sunday night the questions. Those that now we're talking about California time. So the Aussies and the Kiwis, we need to just adjust it. And all of that. So submit by Sunday night your questions. My team and I will go through them. We will tab them. And then those with all the correct answers on Monday, I'm going to do a live. I haven't scheduled it. I'll figure out the schedule on that. I'm going to do a live, and we're going to do a random drawing. We'll literally do random drawings and start giving away this stuff. And hopefully we get a chance to make it happen for you, where you get a chance to work with me one-on-one. And who knows, during the weekend, I might add some more prizes. I don't know. Keep me all jacked up on caffeine and stuff. Look out. All right. So that's what we're doing. That was the giveaway. That was the plan. Here's the thing. Write this down because I don't want you to leave right now. Write this down. Here's the link I want you to go to. And that link is melabraham.com, 10K quiz, /10K quiz. Write that down. So and I'll put it, someone can also put it in the comments for me. That would be great. You'll do the quiz. You'll submit the information. That page will be up after we're done. And do the quiz sometime between now and Sunday. Make sure you get the right answers because that's a key piece. And then I'll get you into the drawing to make that happen. So is that cool? If that's cool, let me know. All right. Awesome. Sweet. All right. So let's go back to the training. We're now off our commercial break and we're back to the training. So let's just start looking at this whole idea of what I want to really do now is get us back to this. All right. Get us back to this. And now let's start to understand what it takes to build distinction, reach, and prescription. This is the core of what I want to walk you through. We'll build it out. This is in the materials in the action guide. So let me just pop over to, let's talk about distinction first. And when I mean distinction, there's 4 things that you need to build your distinction. Here's how I want you to look at this, is assume that this is a checklist of the things that you need to have in place to make that happen. So, but here's my invitation for you, my desire. I don't want you to go, oh crap, I don't have it in place, and start beating yourself up. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is to give you a checklist so we can go create it and build it. So the first thing is this: we need to make sure that you define, try and write that better, unique. You're a unique genius. In other words, what is it that is uniquely you that you know? Someone passed Mel more coffee. I know, look out. See what happens. My wife left early this morning for a walk with one of her best friends. My brother's online. He says, was there a disclaimer that excludes family members? Hey, my brother Jeff's online. He's my identical twin brother in Atlanta, Georgia. So listen, we know that brothers don't listen to brothers, so I can't consult with you. You won't listen to me. So yeah, absolutely. So define your unique genius. What is that unique DNA, that fingerprint that you have and no one else has, that brilliance that will make you stand out? Because when we do that, it eliminates competition. In fact, a good friend of mine, Ron, who's a client, has been a client from long ago, said that the way we craft the content, the way we teach in Thoughtpreneur Academy and the process that we use makes it such that there may be competitors, but there is no competition, because we're building it on that thinking hierarchy. And we're building it in a way that makes us stand out, that we create this unique methodology that allows us to happen. So the first thing is to make sure that you have your unique genius dialed in. The second is that we need to build signature frameworks. Now, I'm not talking about a one-dimensional mnemonic. Julie's got twins. Blessings to you, twin sons, double trouble for certain. I'm not talking about a single-dimensional acronym or mnemonic to memorize. I'm talking about a graphic diagrammatic framework. We talked about this in one of the earlier trainings. Just like I'm creating diagrams to make this happen, how many of you feel like the graphics, the frameworks allow you to process and understand things easier, to recall them better? Because here's what science has shown. Let me know in the comments below if you're finding that helpful. Because science has shown that when you use visual cues, when you use visual learning tools, that your audience's ability to recall goes up 600%, 6x. Now, if we are here to be thought leaders, in other words, we're trying to shift someone's perspective, change their thinking so they do things differently and get different results, then isn't it important for us to make sure that they retain what we say, that we get our message through? And so creating signature frameworks is important for that. Second reason that signature frameworks is important is you become known for it. Literally, you build a business on it. Listen, here's #1 best-selling book. We sold 16,000 copies within 2 weeks. 16,000 copies built on a quadrant model, 4 boxes. Stephen Covey built a multi-$100 million business, maybe even more because I don't know the numbers, around 4 boxes: urgent versus important. You become known for your frameworks. That becomes part of your calling card, the unique methodology. It's a piece of it. So we need to create signature frameworks that have levels and layers to it, that have direction and emotion to it, that allow you to deliver with power and influence to make that happen. Then we need to create easy to use, proprietary processes. All right. So, and this question was posted earlier, and I think that this is a legitimate question. What's the difference between a framework and a process? A process is the steps that get you from point A to point B. It's the steps, it's the milestones, it's the tools that get you from point A to point B. The framework, there's 6 kinds of frameworks we can create. We can create one that depicts the process so it's simple to retain and understand. But it's not the process in and of itself. It's a diagram of the process, if you will. But we can also create frameworks for selling. We can create frameworks for influence, for urgency, for immediacy, for what we call brilliance frameworks. We can create frameworks to do different things depending on what it is we want to do. But the process is saying, here's point A, here's point B. What do I need to do to get them across? So hopefully that answered that question about this. Cool. And then the 4th thing is to build a portfolio of intellectual property, IP. In other words, to be known for the things you know, to create and dump all the stuff that you know in a way that people get it. Okay, so those are the 4 things that we need to have in place to create distinction. Hopefully this makes sense. Which one of these do you need most in your practice? Do me a favor, type that in. Is it going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, all of the above? Do me a favor, type that into the comments, and then we're going to jump over to talking about reach and giving you the points in reach. But before we do that, let me just introduce you to a friend of mine, because I think this is really important for you to understand and see why this is important. Cool. All right, number 2, number 4. Awesome. So this is Tim Goldstein. Tim's a friend. He's a client. He's someone that has studied with me, worked with me, been part of my programs. And here's what he said. I just followed what Mel clearly explains on how to do what I was able to do to create a number of compelling frameworks. Watch this, and I think this is really the cool piece is this here. He says, I'm a community college dropout. I never considered that I would teach at a major university. You know what? He's teaching at Cornell. He's teaching at Stanford. And he's now lecturing at Vanderbilt. And all of it had to do with the fact that he was able to create distinction, stand out, and position himself as the expert. This is the cool thing that he's able to do when you do this right. So I just thought that was something that would be important for you to understand what goes. All right. Melanie's in the house, 2, 3, and 4, Teresa. We'll get those dialed in for you. All right, and 5. Let's look at reach now. Let's take a look at reach. What do you need to have in place to build your reach? So we need to articulate your solution. And we started some of this yesterday in a distinct way. Okay, so we need to articulate your solution, build your reach. We need to articulate your solution in a distinct way, but we need to do it in a way that makes it double deep. In other words, here's what I mean by double deep. Most of the time, when we speak about our solution, we speak to the logical mind. We sit back and say, you know what? I help people with productivity, so I help you understand the top priorities to get done in your day first, and the things that you don't want to, that you should just not do. Here's the challenge with that. That's all logical left brain. People don't make the purchasing decision necessary from the logical left brain. When I say double deep, the first landing place typically is logic. The second, though, is to double deep. So if I get more done, if I know how to prioritize my day and I get more done in less time, what does that do for my life? In other words, emotionally, what's that next layer of benefits that come from it? Benefit extension, as my friend Brendan Burchard talks about. What are the emotional benefits to doing that? So now I have more time to spend with my loved ones, with my kids, with the people I care about, to experience life, to do that. So we want to always speak to our benefits double deep in doing that. So the second part of this is that we need to develop a proper credibility stack. This is how you set yourself apart from the other experts and create a brand position. What is that credibility stack? What is that conversation that you're going to have about your credibility? Why you? Why now? Why your system, your process, your message in this way? We need to build it in a way that creates influence in their world. Okay, so we need to build the proper credibility stack to create a brand position. Then we need to build out a value conversation. This is about your sale. Okay, before we start to go out into the world, we got to ask ourselves, how are we going to have the conversation around our value, the transformation, how it serves the fears and frustrations and the aspirations and wants of our customers? How do we do that? But what we do is we build it into a template. So you now have the conversation done beforehand to make it happen. So you want to have a value conversation template in a way that you can easily have a conversation about what you do, how you do it, and why. It's a deeper dive into what we did yesterday to be able to have a more meaningful conversation. And then the number 4 here is that we need to build what I call a value visual. This is the second framework that I think you need beyond the signature framework. This is, how do I take and create a graphic description of where my customers are, where they want to go, and how I can get them there. Because when they hear it and then they see it, the tendency, the opportunity then is to say, I want to be in there to make that happen. So hopefully this makes sense. Does this make sense to you? Let me know in the comments. That'd be great. And then let me introduce you to another friend who we kind of walked through this, Brandon Lucero. Actually, Brandon's an amazing entrepreneur, does some things. But what we did is we restructured his business, his frameworks, his work in a way that we changed it to build a business where he actually, let me go back here. That if you look at it, we were able to create a simple framework that allowed him to position himself in a way that he, over the last little time, was able to break the $1 million mark because he was positioned as a distinct provider and a high value provider in doing that. It's important to understand how important some of this stuff is. All right, last one. I know that I'm going along, but I think, are you finding this valuable? Is this making sense? Brandon is awesome. Yes, he is. Clear as glass. Like it. All right. Awesome. Thank you for staying around. This is really important stuff. And then let me finish this piece up. This prescription is all about your strategy to make money. It's the plan. It's the recipe to make money. Look at that. I got some hearts coming in. Love that. Bring it. All right. So first things first is that you have customers that are coming in. They're going to be at point A. We need to get them to point B. The problem with thought leaders is we try to take them all the way to Z. They don't want to be at Z because that puts them into overwhelm. We just need to get them to B. So we need to map out the customer's journey. So we're going to create the path so we understand where they're going and where we are along the way. So we got to map out the journey path for them. We then need to think about and define what is their preferred and yours conversion vehicle. In other words, how do you want to get them as a client? Is it one-on-one calls? Is it a webinar? Is it emails? Is it meetings? Is it live events? We got to decide how we're going to bring them into our fold as clients and customers and be really clear about that. How does that fit into our lifestyle and the things that we want to do? Then we're going to develop also, because we can't create a plan that's meaningful. And this is not about creating just a bunch of goals. It's what I call creating an impact and prosperity plan. Remember I said earlier that I believe what we are looking for is richness in life. This is why I don't talk about creating a cash flow plan. I think that we need to plan out the kind of impact we want to have with our message, with our business, with the things that we do. And we need to plan out what our prosperity plan is, which is about building richness. It is about money, but it's more than money, because money for just having money doesn't necessarily mean anything. It is about, okay, money and what it gives me. It's about traveling with your wife or your husband, doing things for the kids, doing things for charity, philanthropic endeavors. What is it that makes you feel totally prosperous, that builds that meaning and that values up there in a way that is meaningful? Then the last piece of this prescription is that we create a 90-day, I do things in 13-week sprints, 90 days, a 90-day action and execution plan. So literally I have a map of what I'm doing every 90 days, of what we're going to do to put the message out there, to have the impact, to do the things that we want to do. That's how we play this game, is we do it in 13-week sprints, because then we need to pivot. We might need to pivot. We either scale it, we pivot it, we change it, we shift it. We don't set it and forget it. We keep going, because the idea is here to hit our impact goals, to hit our prosperity goals, to get our message out in the world. If this makes sense to you, let me know. Let me know. And let me introduce you one last friend as I go to these last few things that we have here. And I mentioned her earlier, Teresa Cantley. She's a client. She was part of Thoughtpreneur Academy. She's also part of my mentorship group and all that. When she was first starting out, she finished a 3-part launch. And after 5 years, she said she was failing, she was falling, she was getting up. She finally sold something. And the reason she sold something was because she was able to craft it in a way that made sense to her audience, that made her stand out, that increased how she was seen as a valued provider and a thought leader in her space. I mean, bottom line is she had frameworks and she had positioning and how to talk about them in a way that made it happen. So that's this. Here's what as I start to get to close, I've got a last little few things for you to think about. And that's this. Your message has value. And there's someone out there that's struggling, that needs it, that's searching for it. They're suffering, they're struggling, they're frustrated, they're aggravated, and they haven't heard from you yet. And what we need to do is get it out there. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that it's easy. It's going to take some work to do it the right way, but it's worth it to make that happen. The key here is this. And let me tell a quick story real quick, because I think it'll bring it home. There's a gal by the name of Florence Chadwick. Florence Chadwick was a long distance swimmer, and she swam the English Channel. And she, in 1952, July 4th, our Independence Day here in the US, she decided she was going to swim from Catalina, which is actually off the coast of where I'm at right now. Swim off the coast of Catalina all the way to the mainland of California, which is about 22 miles, if I recall correctly. And she was swimming in the early morning. Now, these are shark-infested waters. Early morning, fog, cold. And she was swimming for hours. 16 hours she had swam. And she was tired. She was aching. She was sore. She was cramping. She looked at her safety boats, and she looked at them. She goes, I can't make it. I can't go any further. And they pulled her up on the boat. And when they pulled her up on the boat, they looked at her and they said the shore was less than a half a mile away. But it was so foggy, it was so rough, she didn't know what to do, and she got out. Now, here's the cool thing, okay? Less than 60 days later, she came back and she actually swam the whole channel in less than 14 hours. So, but my point is that there's going to be a time as you're going out there to do this, that maybe you're going to sit back and go, I can't go any further. And like Florence Chadwick, you may not be able to see the shoreline. You may not see the shoreline, but it is right in your grasp. It is right in close proximity. And the key is to keep swimming, to keep going, to keep doing, keep serving, and keep making a difference. And you will get to that shore. We can't give up. a half mile from shore. We got to keep going. And so I'm hoping that that story resonates with you in a way that you look at it. Here's the other thing to think about. It's what I call the 4 stages of thought leadership. And then I'm going to close out and give you your next steps. Okay. The 4 stages of thought leadership, simply put, is this. The first thing we got to do is define it. In other words, you need to look at yourself and say, who am I in this space? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And define that. Be clear about it. Forget what everyone else wants you to do. What do you want to do? What does the Nina want to do? The Jays of the world, the Stevens, the Georginas, the Nancys. What do you want to be known for? And define it. The second is to then own it. To step into it and own it, to say, if this is what I want to be known for, how do I need to show up each and every day? Because when you own it and you say, this is who I am, it becomes a part of your identity. You do things differently and really, really show up differently, because then you get a chance to live it. You become the model of it. You become the example of it. But when you define it, you own it, you live it, you have the opportunity then to give it. So that's the key. And so a couple more things before I close. I don't know necessarily why you're here, but you've been here and you've been here diligently. You're involved, and I want to keep you in the group, and I want to keep doing the things that we're doing together. I want to see your message out in the world, and making a difference. Everything that we're talking about is about taking your message out there. And we haven't talked about Facebook ads. We haven't talked about social media. We talked about the grassroots stuff that thought leaders need to do to be seen as thought leaders, to have that staying power, to play the long game, to do things differently, and know that you're having an impact, to craft content that's thought leader worthy, that sets you apart, to create a unique methodology to do that. And now you could be someone that takes it and says, that was great. Or you could be someone that takes it and says, no, that was great, and now I got to go do it and use it as a checklist to go get it done. I don't know which one you are, but I hope that you're the one that goes out and does it, that you're one that goes out and makes a difference, that you're the one that's going to go out there and find that one person that's standing on the precipice that you get a chance to talk off the ledge, because they're waiting for you and they're waiting for your message. Now, I hope that at some point I get a chance to work with you to be able to do that. And I know that in a couple of days' time, we're going to actually open up registration to my flagship program, Thoughtpreneur Academy. It's some of the stuff that we've talked about, we've done here. It's not opening now, but in a couple of days it will open. And I hope that at some point you find it for you. If that's really what you want to do, then I'll send you a video that talks about it. And you can see, is this program for you, and are you right for the program? Here's the thing that I know what it does, I know what it's designed to do, and I also know that if you are willing to pick up the keys and unlock that door and walk through that door, I will be waiting on the other side to join you shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, to take you down the road to do the things that you want to do. But so here's the deal. I got nothing to sell here. It'll open up, like I said, in a couple of days. But if you want to be notified of it, if you want to know about it, then I'm going to have you write down another link so you can get on the early bird wait list. You can be the first to get notified when we decide to open it up. melabraham.com/wait. Go ahead and someone put that into the group too. So melabraham.com/wait. That would be great. It's your time. It's your time to make a difference. It's your time to get the message out there. It's your time to do the things that you know you need to do, because the things that you've been doing aren't working. And if that's with me, that's great. And we'll let you know about it. In the meantime, here's what I would love for you to do now. Okay, here's your next steps. Decide who you are. Remember, define it. Decide who you are. Then the second thing that I want you to do is I want you to go back and do something that I call traffic lighting, okay? And promise me you'll do this, is that you'll go back and do this thing called traffic lighting. Thank you, Arminda, for putting that in. And that is this, is that if I just go back to, let's just take distinction for a moment. And let me just put them all up here. I want you to do this with each one: distinction, reach, and prescription. And if we think about a traffic light, let's just talk about red and green, okay? Red and green. And if I look at it and I say, have I defined my unique genius? Am I really clear on the unique genius? And is my market really clear on my unique genius? If they are, then I just want to color it green, okay? If not, I want to color it red. I just want you to go back and do this. You have signature frameworks. If you don't have signature frameworks, you're going to color it red. If you have a proprietary process that's documented, that's systematic, that has milestones, action steps, and tools that make it easy to implement, then you mark it green. Otherwise, you mark it red. But I want you to go through each one of these and mark them green and red. And then you'll do the same thing. You'll do the same thing for reach. Same thing for reach. You'll mark them green and red, so you know which ones are green and which ones are red for you. And you'll do the same thing with prescription, that either you have things in place or you don't. Now, what's really cool about this process, and why I say to do this process, and why I do this process a lot with my clients, is it allows us in a graphic way to look at things and say to ourselves, okay, those things in red are the things I need to create. It gives you the recipe of what's missing in your business. The things in green are working. So what I want to do is be able to have you do this and go, build it in that way to make that happen. And then the last step, so you're going to do step one. You're going to do step one, decide who you are. You're going to do traffic lighting on step two. And then I want you to watch the replays and do the quiz, because I want to see if we can get you to win, so we can do some other things together. So that's the next steps. That's it for us. Let me do this. Since we're done, let me go to questions. I see some questions coming in, and in the process, let me stop sharing my screen. We'll go to questions and see what we can make happen here. So hopefully you found this valuable. It is our time, Georgina. It is the time for us to go make a difference. Arminda is asking, should distinction, reach, and prescription all be done simultaneously? Indirectly, yes, but the first step, really, distinction, we need to really get clear on your unique genius and the insights you want to communicate, so we can then craft the positioning and the platform you want to create in reach. Okay, so some of it we might have to do earlier, and make a difference with that. So hopefully that makes sense. Awesome. Other questions? Let me see if I can pop this up and see if there was questions that I can go back to. Let me know if that helped, if that answered your question for you in doing that. So glad that found this training profound but practical. I'm looking forward to doing some deep thinking about it. I can see where I've been going wrong now. I have lots of possibilities. Absolutely. There's so much that we can do and do differently to make it easier for you to do. And if you're willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do the work, this becomes your competitive advantage that they can't take away. Hold on. Thank you. So, like those 4 stages remind me of when I did the yoga teacher training. Yeah, you don't teach yoga, you teach yourself. Absolutely. Let's see, what else do we have coming in? Thank you. This has put everything in perspective since I'm starting my business in Unique Genius. Absolutely. If my program is more conceptual and not ready, is your flagship program the right place for me? It actually is going to force you to make it actionable. It's going to force you to use the learning hierarchy, but we give you tools to make it easy. It's fill in the blanks, plug and play. I'll go deeper into that. So it does allow you to ground it and set it in a way that gets results. So that's the purpose of it. Thank you, Ellen. You got it, Teresa. Neil, we're going to talk about when we turn around and open up this, if you put yourself on the wait list, I'll get you the information on that. This one, I wanted to stay clear on this about training to make sure that I give value and not use it as a sales vehicle. So that's one of the things. But if you do me a favor, Neil, just jump onto the wait list and I'll make sure that we get you the information. Yeah, no, so don't send me emails because I can't get to them, all of them. Put the value articulation, William Jennings. So yeah, I want to see your value articulation statement. Post it in the private Facebook group. Everyone is helping each other out there. Let's post it in there. I'm going in there. I'm making comments. Let's keep the community going, keep the dialogue going. We are now joined. We are a family. We are a community of DMers, difference makers, making a difference and having a time to move each other forward. So hopefully that helps. Freaking amazing. Thank you, Mel. This has been so worthwhile. Getting up so early, 3 a.m. Really hope to work more with you. So much to work on. Oh, awesome, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you for getting up so early. Hey, I will send you an email with the replay, a reminder for the quiz, and I think I'm going to do a watch party this weekend. So if we need to, maybe we'll watch all the videos again. I can't imagine watching myself, but okay. Kit, thank you so much. Learned a lot. We'll be on the call live in the course. Neil, go to melabraham.com/wait. melabraham.com/wait. And that'll get you on the list and do that. So 2:30 a.m. Nice to wake up so late. Oh my God. Alexis, thank you for being up. Mary, always great to have you. Thank you for your energy. Nikki, thank you for your energy. You've been epic in this whole thing. I mean, all of you have been so amazing. I feel blessed. I was talking to my team. I go, this has been such a cool community of people making a difference. It's been an amazing time. So we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We got a couple things to do. We've got the quiz. We've got the contest. We've got a lot of things going on. So awesome. Beth, thank you for absolutely. Listen, I get it for encouraging to share a message. Listen, I get it. You know, there's trolls, there's parasites, there's people out there that naysayers, the people that actually, they question why you're doing what you're doing. But when that yearning, when that calling, when that feeling is coming from inside of you to get something out, man, today, more than any other day, the opportunity to get a message out in the world is easier than it's ever been. And I can tell you, if you got anything away from what I've done here and how I feel and the energy that I bring, is that the joy I get from serving you, to supporting you to get to your dreams, the joy I get from that is because I feel like I'm in alignment and congruent with what I've been put here to do. And that there's no greater feeling than doing that. If that's what it's not work. And so yeah, I encourage you not to allow your dreams, not to allow your message to die in the shadows and get all dusty. Let's dust them off. Let's shake them out. Let's wake them up and let's take action with them. That's what I want to do. Nancy Summers, oh, awesome. Stories help her realize that. No, you're not alone. We're all in this together. Trust me. I have a friend who says, new level, new devil. It doesn't matter how successful you are. There's some devils on the shoulders that we're going to have to deal with. But when we know that we're in a common cause, we're in a common battle, and that battle is to improve the human condition, to give hope to the people that have lost hope, to give a vision to those that have lost sight, to give a direction to those that have lost direction. That's what drives us and keeps us going. So thank you, Aminda. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? Anything going on? I know we've been going for a while. We got on a little bit late, but this, to me, just enjoy it. So I'm here to serve. Make sure you're posting in the private group. Put your value articulators in there. Put your questions in there. Put stuff in there. Let me make sure that we support you. The team supports you. Support each other like you've been. Create that community. We're not in this alone. We're not siloed. We're not isolated. We are together. You've all been drafted. You're part of my army of difference makers and DMers. We're going to make a difference with our message, whether it's to one or to many, doesn't matter, because the ripple effect the ripple effect of your message is dramatic and will go far beyond you could ever imagine. And that's what I think we need to do. So I feel blessed to be here with you. Much blessings and love to you. I will be back in here. We'll get you, I'll get you the replay links. I'll get you, you've got the links to the quiz. You've got the link to the wait list. If you have questions, let you know. I'm going to send out when I do the watch party. If you want to do the watch party with me, jump on board, get some popcorn. Let's go through it again so we can get the answers to the quiz and all that stuff. So thank you. Have an incredible day. And let's go out there and let's make a difference together. Cheers.